Well, it has been a few hours since I have poured the ionized water into these 3 different containers, and I'm just going to test how each container stored the water after a few hours. And that will help people know what kind of container, I suppose, to bring your water to work with if you're not going to be buying ionizer. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start with this one. This is the glass jar, and if you saw my other video, I demonstrated all the how I filled it. I filled it to the brim, and this has a rubber seal, and tightened it on tight. So this, let's see how well this stored the water. And this is fantastic. After a few hours, we are still good to go here with this water. 10.2 pH and a negative 775 ORP. That's really good. Alright, now let's see what this bottle does. And oh, yeah, filling it to the brim does kind of make a little bit of a mess. And after a few hours, we did lose, our ORP is pretty unstable. The pH is, up there, 10.4, which it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but it still looks like it's a good ORP. And so that plastic bottle actually is not a bad choice for keeping that ORP for a few hours. When I tested earlier, I tested it some water that had been stored a little over a day, and that was, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it was just almost a day, and that was not storing well for that. But for just a few hours, that little 98-cent container, BPA-free container from Walmart is a good choice. Now, this is probably the more attractive of the 3. It's got a nice little handle that you can stick on your belt or whatever, and a pretty easy open spout and everything. And however, I guess this is going to test the worst. Yikes. That is just a mess. Alright, and here we go. That was the worst as far as the testing goes. 10.5 pH and a negative, and it's unstable because it's going down, so it's really lost a lot of ORP. And I suppose I'm just going to let it settle for a minute and talk about this lid. I think that just the lid is just, there's no rubber seal, there's no, it just clicks on, and I suppose just the evaporation that occurs of the negatively charged electrons, which is that's your antioxidants in your ionized water. I guess they're just so light that they will just evaporate. Just the gas will rise and it will just come right out of there if there is a place for it to go. Now, there's no place for it to go with this, with this arrangement here, or very little, and less place for it to go there, but that one is just not as good. Let's see what the final reading is on this. Looks like a 10.6 pH with a negative 385. And I'm just going to go back through all these because I've been sitting here talking, and each one I notice the pH went up on, and it makes me feel like maybe the meter was still changing, and I think I'm right. So it's more like a 10.6 pH and a negative 660, or negative maybe even 700 on this ORP here. Yep, there we go, negative 700 something. Okay, so that's really good. That's probably my preference right there if I was just going to go to work, because it looks more like a water bottle than this one. It's like, I don't know, taking a jelly jar of water to work. But it does give you the better ORP. 10.6, and boy, that ORP is better. It's probably more than a negative 800. So I'm going to say that's as good as if I fresh poured it right out of the ionizer. Okay, well, I think we've learned something. I have. Thanks.